I would like to call the July 22nd, 2026 regular board meeting of the Fenton Community High School District 100 Board to order. May I have a roll call?
White. Goodrich.
Here.
McCullough.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Radzinski.
Here.
Figueroa.
Here.
We have a quorum. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jason, please read our Fenton mission, beliefs, and Bison Way statements.
Our mission is to cultivate successful, passionate, empowered learners through rigor, relevance, and relationships. Our Fenton belief statement. Successful, passionate, and empowered learners thrive when we provide a safe, caring, and welcoming environment. Diversity, equity, and inclusion unify our community. School and home collaborate as one. We champion innovative teaching and engage learning with state-of-the-art facilities. We infuse social and emotional learning into academics and culture. We prepare students to fulfill their civic responsibilities, and we immerse students in authentic life experiences. And the Bison Way. Students and adults at Fenton High School create a safe, caring, empathetic environment where we believe in each other, respect diversity, communicate openly, grow together, and hold each other to high expectations to become the leaders and innovators of the future.
Our next item is recognition.
Yeah, we're very excited tonight to have a group of students who represent our large group of students. After Rick.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. We're very excited to have a large group of students tonight who represent our student summer workers. This is a really cool feature of what goes on here at Fenton, and so Ms. Ward is going to do some introductions, and then one of our teachers, Mr. Garcia, who's been up here before, will say some words. We also have Mr. Grubb here, and Carl is, of course, our director of all of the summer work that's going on this summer. So, Ms. Ward?
All right. Tonight, I am thrilled to recognize a group of students who have been essential in preparing our campus for the upcoming school year. All summer long, our student maintenance crew has been hard at work waxing floors, detailing buses, cleaning classrooms, deep cleaning of classrooms, and helping to keep our grounds looking great. So for more than 5 years, this program has offered Fenton students with unique opportunities to develop valuable workplace skills such as communication, problem solving, teamwork, professionalism, taking pride in their work by knowing they're serving the school community that they care about. And best of all, they're taking home a paycheck. So this is really challenging work, and this crew has met every task that we've asked of them and gone above and beyond. So to share a few highlights about this summer's team, I'll turn it over to our summer worker coordinator and Fenton business teacher, Mr. Luis Garcia.
All right. Good evening, board. Dr. Klein, welcome to your home. And Dr. Michelle Hassan, also welcome. Good evening, everybody. My name is Luis Garcia. I'm one of the business teachers here at Fenton High School. And today, I'm very excited because I told many of the students, wow, when I signed up for this job, I did not know what I was getting into. Okay? In fact, I did not know where the mop was, like where they store all the mops. I had no idea. And when I started, first couple days, I was like, all right, guys. I mean, I can send a couple text messages to certain individuals and they'll tell me where everything is at. But the point is, I want them to grow as leaders as well. So I'm like, you show me how well you know your school. And then that way you can teach me and mentor me the way. And they did exactly that, right? they did exactly that. They show like, Mr. Garcia, this is where we keep the mops. This is the extra supplies for the gloves. This is so they knew everything. So this is very exciting because I told them, you guys do a lot of work that, including myself as a teacher, we come in every single school year, and I'm upstairs in the 1200s, and I'm like, wow, my classrooms look really clean. But when you start to think about, hey, who does all this work? And you're seeing them in front of you. They are part of the hard work that our custodian staff does and everything, and it's just taught me as a self-reflection, right? But there's a lot more than just what happens in the classroom. And so thank you, students, for all your work. Appreciate it. For some of our students, this is their first job ever. They had, this is like, okay, I'm gonna have a job, yay, right? Here at my school. And I did ask a couple of them, why did you sign up for this? Like cleaning buses, lockers, like, one of them, I'm gonna quote him, said to me, Mr. Garcia, I wanna make sure that my school is ready for the next upcoming class school year. And so that really got me. And I was like, they care. They care, our community cares. So I took that pride out also. And I gotta say, one of the most valuable lessons, and I remember my parents said, never forget where you come from. Nunca se te olvide dónde viniste. So for our custodian staff that are working out right now and everything, thank you guys for all your work that you guys do. I appreciate you a lot, even more now that I know what the work that does behind it. Thank you, I appreciate it a lot. So I also wanna highlight what Ms. Ward said tonight about employability skills. These students learn how to work as a team, communicate. I was sitting in one of the staff cafeteria tables, and I was like, how do I teach these kids community service, right? Like customer service, sorry. How do I teach them customer service? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take everybody in the hall, and I'm gonna open one locker. For them, it was spotless clean. But I said, it's not that great. So half of them, they're like, what? What are you talking about, Mr. G? And I was like, the lesson behind that was, hey, you might work at another job, and a customer might order a mocha frappe, and that's what you gave them at the window. But then they're like, I didn't order a mocha frappe, I ordered a chocolate chip frappe. You say, hey, give me 2 minutes. I'll redo it for you. Great customer service. So half of this crew understood. The other one, yep, Mr. Garcia, we'll redo them again. The other ones, they learned that lesson, and that's what I'm here for. It's to have them grow as leaders and as workers in the future. Let's give a special round of applause to one of our students here that was able to make it, Adrian. He got promoted at his other job as shift lead of his group, and he's just 17 years old. So let's give him a round of applause. So without further ado, I'm gonna mention their names so they can come up and pick their certificate. Isabella Ban. Diego Mendoza. Angel Maras. Damaris Lopez. Daniela Ganoana. Viviana Gaona. Brian Alcantara Alberto. Alonso Romero. Adrián Gómez. Heimar Solange Martínez de los Santos. everything. That's all of them. And for our summer workers who couldn't attend, also, thank you for everything you have done. I'll make sure to get your certificate when I see you tomorrow. All right. Thank you, board. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Before we wrap this up, we're going to do two more quick things. One thing new that we're going to start this month is when we have seniors, rising seniors in the case of the summer, or in the case of this group, recent graduates, we are going to start asking them about their plans after high school very quickly, so the board can be hearing about that regardless of why they're here. So for our rising seniors and our recent graduates, if you guys can come up, I know you're ready for this, and just line up here at the podium, that small group of you, and then each take your turns. It doesn't matter who goes in what order, and this is the first time we've done this, but tell us what your name is, your plans after high school, and either why that's the case or what Fenton did to help you. And I've got one more brief comment after this. Go for it.
My name is Damaris Lopez, and after high school, I want to go to college, then dental school, and specialize in becoming a dental surgeon. Why I would like to do this is because I want people to feel confident with their smile. Since my career would pay really well, I'd also like to help the less fortunate towns in Mexico so that I'd be able to help people in need. My overall goal is to make myself and my family proud with my accomplishments throughout my life.
Hi, my name is Alonso Romero, and my plans is I plan to go to college after high school and become an actor after that. And so I am doing this because I'm very passionate with acting and stuff like that. I got into it because of the theater here at Fenton and the community surrounding Fenton. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Hello, my name is Diego Mendoza, and my plans after high school is either to go to college or the Marine Corps. And I was inspired by one of my friends and also my cousins to do this, so yeah.
Hello, my name is Adrian Gomez. My plans after high school is going to college to major in secondary education. This is what I want to do next because I've struggled a lot with math and like not understanding certain ways and how it's taught. So it's like I want to make sure whoever steps foot into my classroom, like I can do the best they can and like help understand them, and like not only like help teach the best I can, but also like be there whenever they need assistance.
Good evening, board. My name is Daniela Gaona. This fall, I will be attending Illinois State University to major in early elementary education. I believe that hardworking, positive, and encouraging individuals like myself are crucial to assist in the growth and shaping of young minds.
So just to wrap this up, I want to say two things. One is when Michelle Papanicolaou, because we have a couple of Michelles on our team now, was up here in April, she mentioned mentors and internships and things like that. And one of the things that in the spaces she's in starting to get talked about more frequently is what these opportunities mean for the adults in the workplace who are working with young people. And we've seen that for years in schools when we've gotten to have student teachers. And I want you to know in my first 3 weeks here, I've gotten to see it with Carl's whole team, with our custodians, our buildings and grounds, our operations and maintenance staff, as they've interacted. And you can see why. I mean, what you saw tonight, this is an incredibly intelligent, hardworking, amazing group of young people. And I think it's been really fantastic for our team as well. And we would just want to thank you all for all of your work this summer and congratulate you. So thank you. And I think we need a picture before we're done. So Rick, direct us.
Okay.
No, ponte aquí si quieres.
At this time, I will be stepping down as board president. I appreciate, just want to express my appreciation to the other board members who elected me, chose for this position. I took it to heart in trying to execute it as best I could. It's been great serving on the board. Many accomplishments, but it was all for the kids. That was the only reason. But also being a voice for certain communities. I actually turned this down 3 times before accepting it. I don't know how long it's been, 5 or whatever years, but it's been great. Thank you, guys.
Gary, it is hard to recognize that you stepped down. Sorry. I'm saying from the bottom of my heart, because we've been through hard times. And as a board, I can recognize that you guys give us the effort and the heart to continue. Really appreciate what you have done and the guidance that you provide. I know they were hard times, but the hardest we get those times, you got the heart to continue. You were brave. As either one of you were stepped in, and I really appreciate. Thank you, Kerry. Thank you for all the things that you did for our community, our Bison community. And just one more thing, as a leader, I think you had unfinished business, and you're gonna continue going. Thank you, Kerry.
I'd like to say one thing, please.
Go ahead.
I appreciate your comments, but I want it to be clear that the comments that you have made are not speaking on behalf of the entire board.
Totally understand. Totally understand, and that comment is valid, but the one that were here, I really appreciate. Saying that, we're gonna continue with the election of vice president. Would anyone like to nominate a board vice president?
I would
Yes.
like to, go ahead.
Nominate John.
Point of order. This is not what the board policy states. It was my understanding that the vice president would succeed the president. Am I mistaken about that?
I'm sorry, you're saying what?
I'm calling a point of order, and I'm asking the board policy, because it was my understanding in reviewing the board policy that the vice president would succeed the president. Am I mistaken about that?
Well,
That's what happened. We're electing the vice president right now.
we are electing the vice president.
You just, okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that clarification.
That's what I said. Would anyone like to nominate a board vice president?
John.
Jan?
John. Nominate John.
There are any other nominations for board vice president? Okay, nominations are closed. All in favor of Jan Rosinski for the office of board vice president, raise their hands. Karen, could you please record the votes?
I have 6 votes. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Jan Rosinski received the majority of the votes and is now the board vice president.
Thank you very much for your confidence, and I'll try to do the best I can.
Can I interject with just a clarification for next steps?
Yes.
So with John being secretary, what that means now is you will need to nominate and select a secretary pro tem for the rest of this meeting, and then what the board can do is put a selection of a new secretary on next month's agenda and go through this process again at that point.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I have a nominations for that? Who want to be the pro tem secretary? Okay, Reed. Thank you. We're going to continue. Karen, do we have any comments tonight?
No, we do not.
Thank you. Next item is the informational items. Dr. Klein.
Great, thank you so much. We're gonna so sorry. Thank you so much. We're going to jump into, we have 2 informational items tonight. The first is, as we heard from our student workers, the start of the school year is coming quickly. So, Ms. Ward, do you want to walk us through some of the big kickoff events that will happen between now and our next meeting? Thank you.
Hello again. Yeah, we're excited today. It's exactly 4 weeks until the first day of school with students, so about a month away. And we are excited to start welcoming our staff and students back. They all kind of start trickling in over the next couple weeks, but we also have a lot of lead-up events to that I'm going to go over with you, and then I'll give you a couple of highlights into what's coming up in the school year. So starting in 2 weeks, we will have supply and schedule pickup. This used to be called textbook pickup, and sometimes textbooks are still picked up, but we know we've moved to a lot of online, so we call it supply and schedule pickup. If you remember, in the past, we moved it to a 1-day event because we got some feedback from our families. We're going back to 2 days. That just gives people a little bit more time and a little bit more access. So Wednesday, August 5th and Thursday, August 6th from 8 to 4 p.m. All students can come in. The big draw for students is they get their schedules, so they get really excited about that. They get their new IDs, any books or materials that they are there to pick up, and we have a lot of different resources and things, so it's great to get the students back in the building, and we have administrators here to answer any questions. So we're looking forward to that. Then we have 2 really exciting events the following week. So Tuesday, August 11th, we have our sneak peek night. If you remember, this is our 3rd time that we're doing sneak peek. So 3 years ago, we thought of this event, and it was really geared towards our incoming freshmen. It's a laid-back night where students and their families can come into the building, they look at their schedules, and they can walk around the building. We have our link crew, or our junior and senior mentors, who are here and can show them around. We have resources in the commons, snacks, and all of our they can buy spiritware. All of our administrators are here to answer questions. So we designed this for freshmen, but what we've seen the past 2 years is a lot of incoming freshmen come, but so do sophomores, juniors, and seniors, because they're just as anxious to walk through their schedules as the younger kids. So we've seen our attendance pick up the past 2 years, and we're excited for that again. Freshman orientation, get ready for this. class of 2030, right? Can you believe it? The class of 2030 is coming in. We've had this format of the event for a couple of years now. What is so great about our freshman orientation is that it's led by our Link crew. So our juniors and senior mentors come in and they welcome our incoming freshmen. They walk them through, they show them the building, they tell them about the rules, introduce them to the culture of Fenton, and do a lot of team building activity. The whole point of this is to get them familiar with the building, but also that they meet a couple new friends and they're really excited and feel a little bit more confident to come in for the first day of school. Then on Monday and Tuesday, the 17th and 18th, our staff comes back. So certified staff on Monday the 17th, all of our staff comes back on Tuesday, August 18th. So here's a little sneak peek that we'll talk more about next month. Our theme for the year is a riff on what we did last year. If you remember last year, it was Level Up, and that really incorporated the new STEM wing. We were talking about leveling up our academics, our behavior, our attendance, and we had a lot of success last year. So this year, it's all in next level. So continuing, taking everything to the next level, but really focusing on the community and the belonging aspect. So I'm excited to share more with you next month about that. Just a little preview, our certified staff, when they come back, the first thing we do is our Link crew. Once again, these kids are busy during the month of August. They do a welcome back activity with the staff. So our students are welcoming our staff back and getting everybody eased back in. So the staff looks forward to that. We talk about building priorities, and then the professional development portion of the day is going to be pretty extensive, focusing on what Steph Jackson talked about a couple months ago, really a lot of AI led by LTC, Learning Technology Corporation, which is a non-for-profit that we've been working with. They're working with many schools in the area, helping staff to have a full understanding of AI in the classroom. So that'll be a big focus of that day. Our all-staff day kicks off with an event that is a long-standing Fenton tradition called Staff and Student Stories. So it's something we've been doing for over 10 years now, where we start the day with 2 or 3 staff members and sometimes a student telling a little bit about themselves. So sometimes they share an important event in their life, sometimes they talk about what growing up was like, and it really helps us build empathy. So this year we have a teacher that's sharing, a support staff member, one of our security, and also a student will be sharing their story. So that is really the highlight of the day that people look forward to. We will talk about district priorities, and then the afternoon is set aside for all of the different groups to have meetings and get ready for the most important thing, which is students coming back the next day. So our first day of school is Wednesday, August 19th. We're going to continue the format, which we love, and we get positive feedback, where from 8 to 10 o'clock, our freshmen come into the building and they run their schedule. It's pretty fast, but they're in the building all by themselves. The entire staff is there to help them figure out where they're going. They feel much more confident. And then at 10 a.m., we start the day with everyone else. The freshmen go back to period 1, and we have a late start schedule that includes the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, along with the freshmen. So we're looking forward to all of those things. One quick plug, at the beginning of the school year, often you need new spirit wear. So our Bison Fan Shop is open. If you remember in the past, it would often be like, tour weeks here or there that you could get your spirit wear. Now, thanks to Miss Julia Bray, we've transitioned to you can get spirit wear anytime that you want during the school year, and there's tons and tons of different things. So if you need something or you need to zhuzh up your wardrobe, it's open and ready to go for you. We are excited to welcome students back. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Kate. As Doug comes up, I want to mention that this is last month Doug presented to the board the new standing finance calendar. We also have shared with the board, we have to match that a standing instructional calendar, which will really kick off next month, where unfortunately for you, I'll mostly be talking about strategic planning, and in future years that will be more of a strategic planning update. But both of those are going to be important features. We've been hard at work. This is in some ways a nice lead into next month's board meeting. We will have a Finance and Facilities Committee meeting before the board meeting, and we have a lot going on related to both budgeting and health, life, safety. So it will be a pretty packed agenda next month with at least lots of informational items. So with that, Doug's going to kick us off with an overview of where we're at looking back at last fiscal year. Doug?
Thank you, Dr. Klein, and good evening, Board. On the slide here, we're going to talk through what's called the unaudited 25-26 budget results. So we are in the process of having our prior fiscal year audited by our third-party auditing firm, Lauterbach, and so we will get those final results later in the fall. But we're going to take a look at what we had budgeted from last fall's 25-26 budget and where we ended up at the end of June for this fiscal year, this previous fiscal year. We're going to take a look at some of the revenue impacts and some of the revenue adjustments that were made to get where we are in terms of our actual budget. In addition, we're going to highlight a few of the expenditure savings where we were able to capture some of that savings, and finally, how that's impacting our financial projections. So if you recall again, last December, we presented some of our financial projections for the next 5 years, and we had some scenarios of good, better, best, and so we'll kind of take a look at where our finances from last fiscal year landed with us on those financial projections. So this slide here is a very fast summary of the very large multi-spreadsheet document from back in September of last year that we had submitted to you for approval, and we submitted to the state. Overall, on the left-hand column are the various fund groups, the brief descriptions. The column on the third from the left is the beginning fund balance back in July of 2025, and then what we had estimated our revenues to be at that time, what we estimated our expenditures were going to be throughout the year, what the anticipated difference would be, both positive and negative, and then transfers that were in place with the debt certificate payment, moving the money from the ed fund to debt certificate or to the debt service, and then finally where our ending fund balances would be. So all together, kind of going down to the bottom right-hand side, we were estimating that we would start with about $22,600,000 in operating funds that are tied to education, operation, transportation, and cash. And we estimated that we'd have an ending fund balance of $19,600,000. So that was what we had budgeted at the beginning of the fall of last year. These are actual numbers that, again, once again, are unaudited. So very similar first three columns of beginning fund balances, the revenues that came in. We have a few highlights that we'll touch base on the upcoming slides. So our revenues in these particular areas came in a little different than where we had budgeted. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Again, a couple highlights in the blue in the expenditures. Some of our expenditures came back in a positive light for the district in these two areas with education and transportation. Again, I'll touch base on that in a little further. And then all the way to the far right, a couple highlights of ending fund balances. We had talked about capital projects. How much money would we have left over from the STEM wing and the water mitigation and the stadium projects? We had estimated somewhere around $5.2 million, and we dipped in a little. We're at $5.1 million there. And overall, our operating fund balances are at $21.9 million in the positive. Yes, sir.
I can't read this thing. So I'd like to see the previous slide so I can see, because your operating funds are 21.9, and what was your budget? 19.6. So you're a couple million dollars ahead at the short version.
Sit tight. There's some summary slides coming that I think are where you're going.
So I'll try to show it a little differently visually here. The blue columns are on the upper portion of the graph are the various fund groups. The blue is what we budgeted, and the orange is the actual ending balance. So we were, in our budget, we anticipated having just about $15 million in positive in education fund, and we ended at 16.7. And operations and maintenance, 2.25, and we ended at 2.39. Debt certificate, or I'm sorry, debt services, right around the same at $2.3 million. Transportation, we were anticipating having about an $8,000 positive fund balance, and we're ending at a little over $300,000. Our IMRF is a little lower than what we had budgeted at $2.3 million. Our capital projects, again, we were estimating somewhere around that 5.2 to 5.3, and we did a few projects throughout the school year and used capital project money to fund that. And then our working cash was that we had projected being 2.4, and we ended up about 2.5. And then the bottom three graphs are just showing the total funds on the right-hand side, and then funds are broken up into the operating funds and then the non-operating funds. So we had budgeted having about $19.6 million in positive operating funds, and we ended this year at around 21.9, and non-operating funds at 10.3 and ended at 9.7. So again, the next slide we'll start talking in why did we have such positive results, and those are the things that are important that I want to make sure that we talk through. If you recall, our revenues in the operating funds ended about $900,000 higher than what we had budgeted. There are a few factors that went into that. The first one, back in December, when the board approved the tax levy, we had discussed this, that our IMRF and Social Security fund has a positive fund balance, an excessive positive fund balance. So we decided to under levy in the IMRF and Social Security fund and shift some of those levy dollars to the education fund, the operating maintenance fund, and the transportation fund to try to beef those three fund groups up. So we shifted money from a non-operating fund, IMRF, to the three operating funds, and that was about $500,000 there. That was additional money that went to Ed, O&M, and transportation. The next item was, if you recall, when we discussed the state budget about a year ago, we were very unsure of where we were going to go with state and federal grants and state and federal dollars. So we had anticipated a very flat dollar amount from the previous year, and our state and federal dollars came back better than expected. As usual in DuPage County, we are excellent, good taxpayers, and so our local tax collections were excellent, as they almost always are in DuPage County. And then one of the negatives to our revenue adjustments was that we had anticipated a higher than expected interest in our Fund 60, and that ultimately resulted in a little lower revenue than what we had anticipated in the Fund 60 account. And that had to do with truly the timing of the bills that we paid off on the final installments of the STEM wing. If the STEM wing bills, we had anticipated maybe the final billing would come in later in the year, but they finished the project early and were able to wrap up the project, and of course sent us the bill early. So we paid off that more than $8 million bill early on in the fiscal year, and so we had to shift that money to the companies that did the work, and we couldn't collect that interest earnings on that. On the other side of the coin, on the expenditure side, where did our $1.2 million in savings come from on the educational side or on the operating side? And there are a few items that I want to highlight here. We did a good job of budgeting and navigating our staffing salaries throughout all of the various groups, from administration to teachers to paraprofessionals, et cetera, et cetera. So our salaries came in slightly under budget, which is, as we've talked about in other presentations, salaries are a significant portion of our total expenditures for the district. Another piece is purchase services. When we cannot provide a service or a task within the district and we need to hire an individual or an outside entity to provide a service for the district, that's a purchase service. We came in under budget there as well. So we were able to do many things in-house versus having to hire an outside individual, outside company to do that. Another item is outside tuition came in under budget. Outside tuition, that there are various aspects that go into that: Technology Center of DuPage, NEDZEC, private placement tuition, et cetera, that came in about 10% or 9% under budget. And then finally, transportation came in about 4.5% under budget. As you recall, we reduced a few transportation routes early in last fiscal year. We tried to do some other things with consolidating some of our transportation services, and so our transportation costs came slightly under budget. So what does this all mean for our current district outlook and then our future outlook? Our operating funds came in better than expected, which is a very good thing. We had budgeted and we had anticipated that our budget would be decreasing in our operating funds by about $2.9 million. We were able to decrease that fund decrease, or increase that fund decrease, whatever the right terminology would be. Instead of anticipating 2.9 million in decrease, we are only 700,000, a little over 700,000 in a decrease. So we are still in a deficit spending, but significantly less than what we had budgeted for. If you recall, when Dr. Grossi gave that presentation with the various color codes of the green and the blue and the red, green is the best case scenario. We landed in the green best case scenario. So that's something for us to truly be proud of, and kudos to everybody within the district and the community members that are obviously paying a lot of money to support the school system, et cetera. So we are in the best case scenario. Yes, we are in a budget deficit spending, but it's significantly less than what we had anticipated at the beginning of the year. The next column, I think, is really important for us to continue to be focused on, that we do have some additional budget tightening that needs to take place. This is definitely a win that I want to celebrate with the board and share with you, but we still have work to do. We still have more than $700,000 in deficit spending that we have to find ways to tighten the belt and continue to also strategically levy our tax dollars to the right and appropriate funds. We can continue to under-levy in the IMRF and Social Security funds for another year or two, but eventually we will have to shift levy dollars back to IMRF and Social Security to fund the retirement our retirement obligations. But we do have the ability to do that for another year or two. So with a little bit more belt tightening, we're in a good place and a good trajectory. And so with next month, when we do our tentative budget presentation, we'll also have Dr. Grossi come in and we'll speak to the board about how this plays into our future projections, and with the tentative budget, how the budget projections for the next 5 years will move forward.
Can you hear me? For the expenditure savings, specifically purchased services, that 20% is quite a large variance. Do you know, like in more detail, what things weren't done and how that's going to help inform what's budgeted for next year?
The biggest area of purchase services that we did not spend that we had budgeted for was actually in our legal services. We were about $150,000 under budget there. And as we have talked about, we didn't quite know exactly what our legal services and the cost of everything would be this year, so we budgeted quite a bit of money to support that potential need. And thankfully, we did not need to utilize a lot of those dollars. So that was our biggest area.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
No more questions?
Thank you.
No more questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Consent agenda. Next item is the consent agenda. May I have a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Radzinski,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Figueroa,
Yes.
McCullough,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Abstain.
Lewis.
Yes.
Motion passed. Discussion items. May I have a motion that the Board of Education to approve the disposal of asset as presented?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. What are the first two items that are listed in the inventory? And there's 4 items in this spreadsheet. What are the first two?
I have to pull the spreadsheet up. Give me
Oh, no
just
worries.
a moment.
Sure.
It's always fun doing this in real time. So sorry.
No, you're fine. The carpet scrubber and the floor scrubber, I understand. I just didn't know what those first 2 items were.
Does someone want to read them off to me? I apologize.
It's a multi-surface floor cleaning machine. It's called a Kaiwiz.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah, so
Thank
that
you.
is, and it does different types of flooring.
I see. And what's the Kaizen?
Bathroom cleaning machines.
Yeah,
Awesome.
those are
Thank
both.
you. I appreciate
and
that.
just as a fun note, in the interview process for our assistant superintendent for HR, one of those types of machines came up in conversation. Yes, and we really, just so you all know, we really went into the weeds before hiring Dr. Hassan. So sorry about my fumbling with the
No. Thank
agenda.
you for the. It was just kind of odd language. I wasn't familiar with those.
Sure.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
I'm sorry, Miller,
Yes.
McCullough,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Radzinski,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Figueroa.
Yes. Motion passed. May I have a motion that the Board of Education approves the applications for the disposal of records as presented?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. The records that are requested for disposal, it doesn't appear that they're requiring that much space. I do have a very significant concern with this, in that we have as far as I know, the last time I looked, there's an open police investigation regarding a former employee of this school district. I don't think we should be disposing of records that we don't know exactly what they are. And there's no way that a board member can go through these and see what's what. I think until we get some resolution into some further questions related to that issue, that it's very short-sighted for this board to support destroying any records in this district.
Okay, my understanding is that they're not going to dispose any critical records.
You haven't seen the records and you don't know that.
Well, I believe Dr. Klein can explain it a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in here. So a couple of things. First of all, we do have a trailer, storage trailer out back that is locked, obviously, and filled with records that, in many cases, should have been disposed of previously. This should be an annual agenda item. So that's number one, and we haven't done that. So there's been hard work happening by staff over, I'd say, the last 2 years to get this in order, and for us to get back on track from the backlog of making this a regular annual practice. That's one thing I just want to clarify for the board. The second thing is certainly any records that are in question related to any types of investigation, those are pulled and stored separately. Now, the board can make whatever decision and direct me as it wants to, and we'll adjust to that. But I can assure the board, as your employee who is responsible to you and then to our community, we have pulled those records. So my recommendation is for us to proceed with this disposal of records to get us on track. And again, we have other records locked up separately, and we are doing significant work. You will hear more about this in the future in the area of record retention, record filing, and record organization. That is something that I have spent personally a significant amount of time on in the last 3 weeks, and that Dr. Hassan is already spending significant amount of time on, and that our leadership team has been discussing. So again, our recommendation would be to proceed with this, but if we need to put a pause on that or take another look at the direction of the board, we're happy to provide you with additional information.
Sure, and let me be clear. The way that I cast my vote, Dr. Klein, has nothing to do with my, I have confidence in you, has nothing to do with a lack of confidence in your work and your due diligence. I do have grave concerns beyond just this district. And I think that until we begin to get some meaningful, constructive answers from places outside of the district, that we should be retaining everything that we can. It's just, there's too much unknown. And it's not got anything to do with you, Dr. Klein. So please know when I cast my vote, it's not anything to do with a lack of confidence in you.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much for that. One other clarification. This is a unique agenda item in that what you are approving in this agenda item is actually our application to approve the destruction of records from the state. So this is you approve that and then we apply. That's what you're approving here. Now again, I'm not asking the board to approve something you're not ready to approve, but I do want to make that clear because this is fairly unusual in comparison to other agenda items.
The last time that I looked, and I will tell you, it's been a few months, so I need to look again. But the last time that I looked, there had been no hearing at Seppleby regarding a previous employer here who, it is under my belief, based on faith law and school code, that a hearing should have been triggered. My concerns are far beyond just this district. And so thinking about an application to the state regarding this is a difficult pill for me to swallow right now.
Thank you. Reed?
Question. Reed, you had a question?
Oh yeah, well, I'm looking at some of this stuff. And, you know, I can't speak for everything. I think that would be a bit of an overreach, but, you know, some of this stuff like psych temp files and work tunnel repair, work warranty, and some of this stuff, you know, seems to be past its time, taking up space. Now, you know, I don't know whether there's some other items in here regarding, you know, AP history that may for some reason be critical, but I think there is merit to at least discussing moving some of this stuff out. I mean, I'm not going to go through each one, but I get the idea.
Okay.
My only comment would be, I'm assuming we're going to be in compliance with all the requirements as set forth in the Record Disposal Act. And having lived through this on more than one occasion, unfortunately, I understand the work that goes into this. So as long as we're in compliance and it's being reviewed and accepted, and I know there's multiple steps, and I understand all the other concerns, I mean, as long as we're doing our due diligence and in compliance with the state regulations and everything else, I mean, we can't keep everything forever, although there are things we have to keep forever. I understand that as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Nikita.
I'll make a request.
Could you please give me a second? We got a previous.
Thanks, Leo. I agree with John, but my question is, especially for some of the financial items, are they still kept electronically?
Yeah, this is a paper records request, and so that's an interesting one just to call out. Like as Reed brings up the advanced placement, for example, there are things that we are keeping electronically that we don't have to discard that don't fall under this. So I couldn't go through and give you an item by item on this 3 weeks in, for example, of what we also have electronically, but I appreciate you bringing up that point. I think that's an important, interesting consideration in 2026 as we move forward.
Chris?
Yes, I request that the board maintain, the district maintain all records until such time that the police investigation is complete, or until we get some kind of response from the state board concerning a license revocation hearing. And I don't think that's asking a lot. So let's ask some questions, and then once those questions are answered, we can destroy the records, no problem.
Okay, my understanding is that they're gonna destroy it, not the sensitive material.
Again, we don't know.
Yes, Reed?
I got a question. This is a two-step process, right? First we got to do it, and then we got to go to the state. All right, how long does it take for this thing to get through the state?
That's a good question. I haven't done this now in about 9 years, and I've not asked my colleagues that question. Karen, can I put you on the spot? Have you heard that from anybody regionally?
Yeah, so when I contacted the state representative for the destruction of records, he says it takes anywhere between 1 to 3 months for it to go through before they do the approval.
Well, here's where I'm going with this. And if there's such a thing as splitting the difference on an issue like this, you know, from a layman's point of view, you know, bank statements from 216 and 217, you know, because I ran into this in my accounting background, records disposal and all that kind of stuff. This is not my first exposure to this. But all right, you know, so if you sit on the state application for a while, does that satisfy part of Dr. McCullough's concerns?
So I think there's two thoughts I have. One may be stepping a little bit out of bounds, especially in my very first board meeting, Mr. President. One is we could bring back an updated motion next month without student records, but with all of the other records. That would be one option, splitting the difference. The other is certainly you could approve this and we can wait to move forward. I mean, you will, that is up to the board though, because you are approving this, which is directing us to move forward at some point. So I want to be transparent about that and not set us up for failure in your mind on that either.
I did have one question for Karen. So we have the 2 to 3 months to get the approval. If I'm not mistaken, there's also like a 30 or 60-day wait period before disposal could begin in case things change. So we're really looking at 5 months before we even begin any disposal process at all. This isn't easy. This isn't fast. And I get where Dr. McCullough is coming from. I get all of that, but just so everybody has all the information, because just because we say yes does not mean it's happening tomorrow. It's going to be at least 5 months, if not more, before anything hits a shredder.
Well, once we get the state approval, doesn't mean like you're going to build a bonfire the next day.
No, you don't, because there's a 60-day waiting period even after the approval before anything can move forward in case anything comes up later. So just so everybody has all the facts to make their decision.
Well, let's add to those facts. 5 months versus we've been years now with no resolution to the outstanding issue that we have on the table. And until that's resolved, I do not think it's inappropriate to be destroying records.
When was the last time we disposed of records similar like this?
I believe it was 2018.
2018.
And again, it ought to be annual just so we're clear moving forward.
2018 is we only got so much space to be keeping hard records like paper records like this, and if it's reasonable to
It's not reasonable.
this task to pursue this, especially when he's already told us that related files and requested files related to litigation has been kept in separate places. And this is something that should have been done yearly. It should be evaluated yearly anyway.
Why is it
It's reasonable to
We're not,
process
it's
this
not that much.
application.
Why are we so
Please, sir,
scared?
let me finish speaking.
Sure.
It's reasonable to do this step yearly. We're not compromising anything by taking this step.
I would agree with that. If we're first willing to do due diligence, and let's find out answers to our questions. And maybe you don't, does the board not have those questions? Does the board not have the question of why is the police investigation apparently still open, the last time I checked? And why there hasn't been a hearing with Sepulvey? I mean, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe the board doesn't care about that. And if that's the case, okay, then disclose that. I do care about that. I want to be sure that that individual doesn't have the opportunity to interact with students again. And I'm not sure of that. So I guess maybe I'm mistaken, and the board doesn't have an interest in that. So that's a very sad situation.
It has nothing to do with not having an interest in that. We've been assured that the records pertaining to this have been secured, and I have to trust our staff that they have done their due diligence and secured those records. I currently work for a police department, and some investigations never get closed. And I hope that's not the case here. I truly hope that's not the case here. But our staff has assured us they've secured the documents. I have to trust our staff. I think we've discussed this. We hear everybody's opinions. If it fails, we'll look at another option. If it passes, we move forward. I think everybody's heard everybody's points. I think maybe it's time that we call a vote.
Thank you. Okay. The motion could be also amended tonight, so we can include it. Do not include the student records. So we can have two motions. One of them could be amended for next month, and the other one could be passed today.
Well, you already have an active motion.
Yeah, we already had it.
So you got to vote that one
We
first.
already have a motion there.
Yes.
So let's just
Let's just
Okay.
vote.
Roll call, please.
Miller,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Abstain.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
McCullough,
No.
White,
Yes.
Figueroa.
Yes. Motion pass. Does anyone have committee reports?
Committee reports.
Bensenville Community Foundation will be meeting tomorrow, so we'll have an update next board meeting.
And we did invite our new superintendent to attend so he can meet more people in the community if his schedule allows.
His schedule allows, and he's looking forward to it.
For now.
ISB? No. NASIC, we don't have any committee until August.
I guess for finance and facility, next month will be the next meeting.
Yes. The next board meeting will be Finance and Facilities Committee meeting will be held at 6 p.m. prior to the board meeting. The next scheduled Board of Education meeting is next Wednesday, August 26, 2026 at 6 p.m. May I have a motion and a second to go into the closed session for the following? Illinois ILCS 120-2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal, or specific employees or Fenton Community High School District 100.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
White,
Yes.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
McCullough,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Figueroa.
Yes. Closed session, and after we are coming for the closed session, will be no action.
Second.
Oops, close.
Roll call.
Radzinski,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Goodrich,
Yes.
McCullough,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Figueroa.
Yes. May I have a motion and second to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Yes.
Second.
Yes, for one. Oh. I don't know, how many do you need?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.
Who was the secondary person? I'm sorry. Miller?
I said second, so I don't know. I think Mike won.